Hi, my name is Becky. I'm from Los Angeles, and my question is, what happens if someone ignores his soul?
What happens if one ignores his body? To ignore one's body, God forbid, on a serious level would mean that one would die. If you wouldn't take care of your health and nourishment, and we know more and more even about exercising and so on, then the body simply deteriorates and disappears. It's really no different from the soul. If a person ignores the soul, then you might be able to enjoy the apple that you're eating or the sushi that you're having. But we have another word in Yiddish. It's not as geschmack. What do I mean by that? Geschmack means delicious. There's no real word for it in English. It means really delicious. You see, on the most basic level, our deepest emotions, our ability to connect to things on the deepest level, even simple things, the pleasure of having your grandchild on your lap, which I was fortunate this morning to experience. That pleasure, to be able to experience that in a soulful way, what would happen if the soul would be ignored? The world would be black and white. Life would be colorless. I would be alive, maybe I'd be able to breathe, I would exist, but my existence would be a dark existence. Greece was the kingdom of darkness. Statues, sculpture, science. It's interesting because they were considered to be the most enlightened and illuminated people. It would be like having a vegetable soup that has all of the most wonderful ingredients, but it wasn't heated up and it's frozen. It just doesn't have a taste. You just would be a frozen person. I was talking about my grandchildren. There was some cartoon that came out some years ago. I never saw it, but apparently it was crazy popular. It's called Frozen, or the Frozen. And there was a curse that this princess, I might be getting it wrong. There was a curse that this princess, everything she touched was freezing. She was a nice girl, but everything that she came into contact with was frozen. Everybody heard of hell. I'm sorry to bring it up. A lot of people in my life told me to go there. Maybe you heard that also. So this thing called hell, in medieval art, it was always associated with fires, and like you're going to get barbecued and roasted in that place. Our holy books tell us that there's a hell of ice, of snow. What does that mean? It's not about something physical. It means when something doesn't have a soul, when something doesn't have a heart, it doesn't have a soul, it can go on, it functions. There are marriages that make it to the end zone. But there are marriages of the ice, the cold. Without a soul, ignoring the soul means ignoring the deepest emotions, the deepest connections. It means not being able to enjoy a sunset, a sunrise, a snowflake. Not on the deepest level. You can't. The soul is that part of ourselves that gives us access to the deepest feelings, the deepest thoughts, the deepest emotions. Without it, it's the frozen.
Hi, my name is Becky. I'm from Los Angeles, and my question is, why do we need the Torah? Can I find another source for spirituality?
Everybody knows that nowadays, in order to be able to get into an important place, you have to have the right code. You have to press the right numbers. The one who created the soul is God. That's what we believe. And we're told that in the Torah, God gave over his soul. At the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai, so the first word that was spoken was that God said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. That means, I am your God. And Anochi, which in Hebrew is written Aleph, Nun, Chaf, and Yud, is an acronym for the words Ana, Nafshi, Kosvis, Yehovis. I'll translate. God says, I have taken my soul and I have infused it into this book. My soul is in this book. That means that the Bible, the Torah, is our code, our way of pressing certain buttons by reading this verse and studying it to the best of my ability and going to good teachers. When I am studying Torah, I am opening up doors into the soul of the one who created the soul, of the soul of all souls, of the life of all life. That's what I'm opening up. Without the Torah, you can talk about the soul, you can dream of the soul, you can imagine the soul, but you can't experience it.
Hi, my name is Becky. I'm from Los Angeles. And my question is, what can a Jew do every single morning that will really nourish their soul?
The soul is hungry and thirsty. It's hungry and thirsty for acts of kindness, for mitzvahs, commandments. When God gave over his soul and he said, listen guys, there's certain things that I want you to do. And by doing these things, the same way that there are certain exercises that my doctor told me that I have to work on, that by working out and following these instructions, you're going to strengthen your soul. You're going to be spiritually nourished. So when I wind the straps around my arm, I'm a lefty. So when I wind the straps around my arm in the morning and put the box onto my head, of course I try to study what all of that's about and what they mean, and I try to know more about what's written inside the boxes. But I believe with all of my heart that by following these instructions, when I spoke before about pressing the buttons and getting access and getting in, the commandments are our way in. So people can study the Bible, and that's great. And they could think about the Bible, it's beautiful, but getting into the Bible, getting through the gates that allow you into God's soul, those are the instructions. And the instructions are kept to the best of our ability. They include many, many positive commandments and negative commandments, but each one is a way of entering into that soul of all souls.
Hi, my name is Becky. I'm from Los Angeles. And my question is, what can a Jew do every single morning that will really nourish their soul?
I think that the first thing that a person does in the morning, beginnings are important. The beginning of life is very, very important. I know people who are old, and they're still suffering from things that took place when they were little children, and now there are studies that show things that took place when they were still in the womb, before they even came to the world. Beginnings are very important. So how you begin your day is extremely, extremely significant. Some people just begin the day by throwing the clock against the wall, when the alarm goes off, by slamming it and cursing. I got this horrible client I have to talk to today, and I got to go to 20 appointments, and that'll pretty much set the course of the day, how you wake up. So our Torah tells us, our sages teach us that when you open your eyes, even if you're still with your eyes closed, and you say, Moda ani lefanacha, I, master of the world, master of my life, I love you. I want to thank you for giving me back my soul. Moda ani lefanacha melech chai v'kayam. You are a living God who is forever. That client, by the way, he's alive right now, he's not forever. And if it doesn't work out, I still have you. Moda ani lefanacha melech chai v'kayam. You are a living God. You define what life is. And I want to thank you, you know why? I want to thank you for giving me back my soul. Exactly what we were talking about before. I want to thank you for filling me with your light, so that when I go to work today, I'll try to do my best job, I'll be honest, I'll try to be sincere, I'll try to work hard. But you know what? If it doesn't go the way that I expected, it's okay. Because I contain within me a living soul that came long before this world and is going to go on long after this world is gone. And in this world, I'm doing the best I can to connect to the one who gave me the soul. And if I can follow that up with something very beautiful that we do as Jews, which is, if I'm able to lean over, or that could be messy, or go to the sink and I wash my hands a couple of times. There's a special way to wash, I'm not going to that now, and I wash my hands, then what I'm saying is, everything that happened yesterday, all my disappointments, all my failures, I'm clean. I'm starting today fresh. I'm immersing in the light of the one who created me, and I'm going to make this the best day I could possibly make it. I'm washing myself of all the mistakes of my past. And I'm trying to start again. And how you start the day sets the tone for the entire day. How you start your life, it's never too late. But how you begin, how a child begins in the world, it sets a certain thing for life. We have to be careful with our beginnings.